Hey everyone, happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. So we are headed to the Dome, you guys. Our football team, the boys, they won their game this past Friday, and they are headed to the Superdome for the championship. It was really fun to be there and to be a part of their game. Also, this past Sunday, can you guys hear me? Um, y'all let all apologies know to go out and come back in if it's buffering. This past Sunday, Sister Robs came on. And this episode is called Corona Apocalypse, I think is what it's called. Let me go all the way back to my notes. Yeah, Corona Apocalypse. It's season 17, episode 13. So we're gonna go over a recap of the episode, and then we're gonna talk about this episode. This one was a wild one. I feel like we really saw Janelle kind of be like, I mean, she's like have affection for Kody, but I don't know if it's love. And a rumor has it is at this point she's no longer with him, that she's no longer with Kody, that she is left as well. So I think we'll find that out in time for sure. But that's what Gwen's friend said on a TikTok live when they was like, "Has Janelle left?" And she's like, "I can answer that. Yes, she's left." Um, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get into the recap. This was an interesting episode. We saw them speak a lot into their relationship, Kody and Janelle specifically. They went out, they had a dinner, and they really got into the nitty gritty of their relationship and where they're at. And to me, I really feel like he is just upset that Janelle still has a friendship with Christine, and he don't like that. I feel like he feels like Christine is taking her side over his side, and that's an issue. That's what I really think this is kind of all about, y'all. Also, the Christmas decorations, I like them, but y'all, I don't know if I can keep the marching men because they're so tall. I feel like the camera is like kind of right sitting on their hats, and sometimes it makes it look a little uneven. So, what do you guys think? Keep the marching men or the nutcrackers, or get rid of them? You guys let me know. Kody also forgot about his son's birthday, and that, oh my goodness, to see his son Gabriel in a confessional, like really breaking down, I could really understand if she chose to leave Kody at this point because it's not even just a matter of her, but her kids are estranged from Kody. You know, yeah, she was probably getting her ducks all in a row to be able to leave and be okay. So this episode started out. Let me get my screen up because we are going to go over some pictures throughout this. Did I tell you guys change your chat from top chat to live chat? Oh crap! I forgot to tell the moderators that I was live. Hold on, you guys. I was literally last minute with this one. I was writing notes up until literally 1 o'clock. I know Candy probably can't join. Um, Candy probably won't be able to join. Okay. All right. So this one started off where they are. That's weird. It's been a little over a month since Christina's left, and they're trying to work out the logistics with Truly, getting her over for visitations, getting her comfortable with visitations because it's not just about getting her there for visitations. Um, I don't know exactly how far it actually is from Utah to Flagstaff or the part of Utah that she lives in. Does anyone know like specific details of how far away they are? Because I don't know. I'm not sure. But either way, they're trying to work out like visitation, and not only visitation, but visitation and truly feeling comfortable because Troy's not super comfortable with her dad. They're not super close. He's not around a lot. So this is kind of like her first visitation at Kody's house, from my understanding. They're trying to get her comfortable. Also, the book bag that she has, I think that's a Fortnite book bag, and I think my son has one just like that. Okay, I want to say 4 or 5 hours, but I'm not positive. That's a trip. But it looks like Kody has come home with Truly. They get out of the truck. Solomon and Ari, they, greet her and they're excited that she's there. Later on, they get into the house and he asks her if she brought her pajamas. He's like, "Did you bring your pajamas and everything?" And she's like, "No." And he says, "Well, are you going to stay the night?" And she says, "Well, Mom said that, I can figure that out later. That I can, if I want to stay the night, I can figure that out later." Um, he says, "That's fine. That if she wants to stay the night, she can just sleep in a big t-shirt or something like that." He also talks about how the family's been separated, due to COVID, then the divorce, that it's really been a while since the family has been normal. Christine says in a confessional that, of course, things are still weird between her and Kody, but one thing Truly asked for was that the two get along. One thing Truly asked for was that Christine and Kody be able to get along. So that's one thing that Christine is trying to make sure can happen, is that her and Kody do get along, and that is for Truly. She says they're going to be respectful to each other, especially in front of Truly. Truly gets the Cody's. She's unsure if she's going to stay. She's playing with Solomon and Ari. Robyn says to have her there is like a sense of normalcy. To have Truly back, back at the house, it's kind of a sense of normalcy. Robyn also says that she has not told Solomon and Ari exactly what is going on, or really explained to them, the situation, because she feels like they're too young to really understand at this point. In a confessional, though, Robyn says that there is more tension within the family, not just the divorce. There's more tension, and it's making everything harder. But having Truly over does bring some sense of normalcy. Anyone notice that very expensive, huge purple crystal? Wait, what? Okay. Anyone notice that very expensive, huge purple geos that were on the floor? Where at? Did I? See a watermelon, a watermelon. Yeah, my parents got divorced when I was like 8. So, Janelle in a voiceover then says that over the summer things was really rocky for her and Kody. She said they had a lot of disagreements over the RV. And she says she is really trying to calm the waters, basically, trying to smooth the waters out because they've had problems this entire summer. She also says that there's a lot of issues concerning her kids with Kody. That she's like, my kids are basically estranged from Kody. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I didn't even know what I was looking for. I was just looking for something big and purple. But she says her kids are still estranged. They're estranged from Kody, but she wants to, kind of bring them back to a more stable place. So they go eat at this place. I think it's called Fat Joe's. No, Fat Olive. Do y'all have that?
Disagreements about the trailer, how it all went down.
Fat Olive. It's like an Olive Garden, I think. I love Olive Garden. I wish we had one close. We don't have a close Olive Garden. But anyways, I wrote in my notes Fat Joe's. But it's Fat Olive. Anyways, they go have lunch there. As they sit down, Janelle brings up how nice it is for them to be able to go out to eat because they haven't done anything like that in a very long time. Bring it back. Yeah, there she's talking about cooling the waters. Her kids are still having problems. This is where we're really about to get down to the nitty gritty, you guys. Oh. Let me get to where they're eating at Fat Joe's. We'll just call it Fat Joe's. All right. Okay. So, I love Olive Garden. We have them in the city. Me and Sean go there and eat sometimes for our anniversary. Speaking of, our anniversary is literally in 15 days. It's like 14 years. Wow. So anyways, Janelle brings up Thanksgiving and they're trying to figure out what's going to happen for the holidays. She mentions how Maddie said that her and Caleb may come in for Thanksgiving. And she says, she's like, they're talking about coming in for Thanksgiving. And then he says, well, if they're coming in for Thanksgiving, we really need to figure that out. Like, there's going to be a lot that goes into that. Like, we got to do planning before that. Basically, what he's saying is like, if they're coming in for Thanksgiving, like, they need to quarantine for 2 weeks before they come in. Like, they don't even be hanging out with people. They don't need to be, coming over here to us and exposing us to COVID because they haven't been quarantined, right? That's basically what he was getting at, in my opinion. Um, in a confessional, she says, um, she is really considering just going to Maddie and Caleb's instead and doing Thanksgiving there and then coming back, and doing Christmas in Flagstaff with the family and really plug back into the family for Christmas, be there for the holidays. And she says she's trying to take the easy way out right now for Thanksgiving because the tension between Kody and her boys. Also, I think her hearing him say, I think hearing her tell him, Maddie and Caleb might come in for Thanksgiving, and he immediately goes to, well, things are going to have to happen if they want to come in. Automatically, it's not like, oh, that's great. That's great that they're going to come in for Thanksgiving. We would love to have them. Automatically, he goes straight to, well, we got to talk about that. Things got to happen before they could just come in for Thanksgiving. That's the reason at the end of this episode, he talks about losing his family and not having those big celebrations anymore. And I'm like, that's why, though. Because anytime anybody wants to come in to celebrate anything with you guys, you're like, whoa, 10 feet away. Quarantine for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this big deal. They're 20 months into COVID at this point. It's really slowed down from my understanding. So anyways, Kody says that if they want to plan to get together for Thanksgiving, there's some things not only that needs to be prepared as far as like, I think him implying quarantining, but also like now he's talking about the boys. Like there's some things that need to be discussed if the boys want to come in. And he says there's a lot that's going on that's just kind of went under the bridge and that he is not going to ignore it. He says he isn't just going to act like everything is peachy and fine without working those things out. He isn't going to have them come over to his house for Thanksgiving if they got animosity towards him or someone connected to him, basically meaning Robyn. Once again, I'm like, you know what? You and your boys may be having problems, but the thing about it is it's the holidays. You could kind of just set it aside, do your holiday with your family, and then maybe at the end of the evening that day, say, "Hey boys, can y'all come outside?" And then maybe try to talk about it. That way, you have that holiday with them. I don't post Fortnite. My kids play it, but I don't post it. But I just noticed she had a Fortnite book bag. So once again, I think that was wrong of him to be like, well, if the boys want to come, we need to figure it out. Like, we got to talk first. I'm not letting them come to my house if they have animosity towards me or my wife. Well, if they want to come for Thanksgiving, obviously they're putting that foot forward to extend the olive branch to kind of get along again. So maybe allow that, and then after say, hey, let's chit chat about what took place. What took place, basically, what he's talking about is during COVID, Gabriel and Garrison did reach out to Robyn. They called her and texted her, basically asking her, like, what's the deal with Dad? Where's he getting all these rules from? Are you the one behind this? If so, if not, can you talk to him? Like, can you get him to calm down? Like, these rules are too much. Like, I think Kody and Robyn's trying to frame it as they called her, like, jumping her butt about it. But I'm really wondering if they called her saying, like, hey, is this you doing it? No? Okay, can you work with us then? Can you get Dad to chill? I mean, I don't know that for sure. But I'm kind of wondering. I just don't see Gabriel and Garrison, like, calling her and, like, chewing her out or anything. But that's the way they're kind of framing it. Kody is way more immature than his sons. Yeah. Watching them eat there made me want Olive Garden. I'm like, it's literally Olive Garden. It's like an Olive Garden for me, basically. This was last night's show, Roll with Tide. Okay. So he tells Janelle, he's like, Garrison really should reach out to me and make amends. He says, make amends. Later on, he's going to say, I'm not asking for an apology. But isn't that what make amends is? I don't know, maybe not. Janelle tells us in the confessional that her boys and Kody are very estranged and that Kody doesn't want to listen to their point of view, just his point of view. Like, that's it. He's right. He don't want to listen to them. And that's going to be a problem for them, for them. She said they don't see his point. They don't see his point or the point of those close to him, according to Kody. That's what Kody is saying. Like, Kody just wants his point of view. He wants people to see his point of view and those close to him point of view, a.k.a. Robyn. That's what she says, a.k.a. Robyn. Janelle says that her boys are not just going to call Kody and apologize. Kody says that he's not asking for an apology. But I'm like, you said call and make amends, so that's an apology. That he's just asking to clear the air. Okay, I guess make amends could be clear the air too, maybe. I don't know. Maybe everybody take a little bit of responsibility there, you know? Back at dinner, Kody says that Robyn ended up in the crosshairs of everything concerning COVID. He talks about how Gabe and Garrison called Robyn. Kody says it's been a lot of crap talking about people in the family. Then we see Robyn in a confessional. Let's see if we can get Robyn to the confessional. Then we see Robyn in the confessional, and she basically says, I did get messages from Gabriel and Garrison, you know, asking me, like, my role in the COVID situation. You know, basically blaming her. And she says, like, she always stands firm that this was Kody's doing. This was not her. She was just abiding by his rules and being that loyal wife to him, you know, following his rules. Kody says what it all boils down to. Kody says by the time he started having children, he had 3 wives already. So, like, all the children knew was 3 wives for sure. You know, like, that was normal when he started having kids. Each kid was used to Kody splitting his time between 3 wives and the kids that came before them. But when Robyn came into the picture, it was different. You know, that then all of a sudden, Kody was not only splitting his time with, you know, the other wives and their kids, which is something that all of the kids were used to, but now he's splitting his time and adding Robyn and her kids into the mix. And that was something that the kids were not used to, is seeing him spend his time with a new wife and new children. And he says he thinks that it was jealousy. He thinks that, you know, the kids are jealous. And I'm like, but doesn't that tell you something there? Like, even if they were jealous, to me, that would be almost like kind of a good thing, you know? Like, but that tells me my kids wanted to spend time with me. And that tells me that my kids wanted me to be there. Oh, I wish I could, Sally B. I completely understand, though. I completely understand. I appreciate you for clicking on it and clicking the like button. Thank you so much. But he says he thinks it boils down to jealousy. And I'm like, well, maybe it hurt feelings, you know? Probably is weird seeing their dad start spend time with these 2 girls that are not his biological children and this other boy that is not his biological child and paying them so much time. And then from what we see now, seeming like he cared more about them and he was more attentive to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we see now. Like, him asking Brienne not to go back to school in person because he wanted her to stay at home so he could still be there. You know, so he could still stay at Robyn's house and be with their family. But he didn't think to ask Savannah to do that or Isabel to do that. You know, so it definitely, yeah, that's what I'm saying, The Ridge. They were more than jealous. They were hurt. I think when Robyn came into the picture, Kody stopped dividing up his time equally. And that's what they all go back to. They all go back to that. Like, there was a schedule. He was here, you know. And then it really started changing. He was more attentive to Robyn and her kids. And that's the issue here, I think. Kody, back at dinner, he tells Janelle that some members of the family do not try to get along with other members of the family. He tells Janelle that he has one wife that is fundamentally loyal to him. and sees him as the head of the household, as the head of the family. In a confessional, Janelle says, here he is blatantly saying what I've been thinking all along. He's saying, I have this one person that is loyal, and if you really want to be my wife, then you need to be like this person. This person is Robyn. She says, I'm not going to be like Robyn. I'm not. Let's see if we can get it to that part where she actually says it.
Rob, no, I'm just asking for loyalty. I'm asking if you and I get that. If you're loyal to me.
I just can't believe what he's saying.
I'm not telling Janelle to be more like Robyn. I'm telling Janelle just to be loyal like Robyn. No, I'm just asking for loyalty. I'm asking to be the head of my household.
I mean, here he is blatantly saying what I've suspected. This person is loyal and treats me like the head of the household. If you really want to be a wife to me, this is how you need to be. I'm not going to be this person. I'm not going to become Robyn.
Don't become Robyn, Janelle, because we love you, girlfriend. We don't like Robyn, so keep being you. Yeah, don't be like Robyn, because stay you, Janelle. You're fine the way you are, girlfriend. But she straight up said, like, this is what he wants, and this is what I've been knowing, that he wants me to act like her. It's not about loyalty. It really isn't, because how is Janelle not loyal to this man? How is she not loyal to this man? So anyways, back at dinner, Janelle tells Kody that he acts like it's all one-sided. Kody responds that when Robyn came into the family, she was so kind, she was so accepting. She came into the family and she just loved everyone, and she wanted to be a part of this family. But she has been perceived as something else. In a confessional, Janelle says that it frustrates her. Let's see. In the confessional, Janelle says that it frustrates her. Where we at? That he perceives Robyn as so perfect, as such a saint. That she was so nice to them and she was treated so wrong, so everyone better apologize. Janelle says that's not true. Robyn has not been victimized, and that the way that she perceives it, Robyn basically keeps to herself. She stays like she keeps herself separate from the family. She's like, the way that I see it, we were a plural family. Another wife got added. We were trying to figure it out. But it was difficult because Robyn kind of kept herself separate from us. So it was hard to like bring her into this family when she kept herself separate. Also, you gotta understand, these three women lived together in the same house for several years, and then Robyn comes in the mix. She don't move in the house with them, and they all move and get separate houses. These three are first going to be pretty close. Where's Destiny? These three are going to be pretty close at first, right? So for her to really blend in with the family, she really needed to hang out with the girls, to like make an effort to get to know these women and be really, but she wouldn't. She kind of stayed off to her, get together for family functions, but like she wouldn't really go hang out with them. Like they would hang out with each other. They knew each other well. Their kids were running from one house to the next house. And like Christine liable to be home and any kid walk through her door. But Robyn's kids were not allowed to just wander and go over to their sister wife's house. Robyn's kids, she didn't leave her kids, with them for a while. And even when she did start leaving them with them, it wasn't very much. Like when they went on their one trip, I was watching an older episode, and they went on this one trip, and Kody stayed back, and it was Robyn and Christine. It was Robyn and the women, I think. Like she brings like Solomon, Then when like they went to like Vegas, or she's bringing like the kids, So she was always really like weird about leaving the kids with them. Like she would, but not that much. So it was her that was kind of like on the outside, and they were supposed to just, I guess, like try to stay in communication with her and try to set things up with her. But really, she should have been doing that. She was the new one in the family, So Janelle's like, that ain't how I see it at all. Like she ain't no victim. Like she kept herself separate. We tried. We were trying to figure it out. It was something different. Like, Kody had not brought a new wife in like 20 something years, you know? Anyways, back at the table. Let's get back to the table. Back at Fat Joe's. Okay. Back at the table, Janelle asked Kody if the roles were reversed, would he care as much and be as defensive? Like, if this was her, if this had to do with Janelle, if he would be as defensive, if he would, defend her this much. He leans in closer to Janelle. Let's see. He leans in like really close to her. What does he say? And he says that they haven't acted like a married couple for most of their marriage. That's what he says to her. Let me see if this is the part.
You and I have been acting like we weren't a married couple for most of our marriage, Janelle.
But I'm like, what? So y'all haven't been acting like a married couple and you've been fine with it? Yeah, like him getting super close, I would have been like, back up. I would have poked him in his eyeballs. Back up. Don't get that close to me. But yeah, she's like, would you be this defensive if this was me being treated this way? Or if you perceive me as being treated this way? Would you defend me like this? And he gets super close and he's like, we haven't even been acting like a married couple for most of our marriage. He says he doesn't know why. And he says this. He says, I don't know why it's been okay, but it's not now. But Janelle wants to act like a single woman. So he even says, like, it used to be okay, but it's not now. But then he makes it out like it's this big deal. You're not being loyal. You're making these decisions by yourself. And she's like, that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Like, that's what I thought it was. Like, I've done it for so long and you never ever had a problem with it. And back when I used to, like, go to you for everything, you told me not to. So this is what I thought I was supposed to do. Become independent. Don't run to you, for every problem. Figure it out myself so I'm not laying that burden on you. But now he's saying that's the issue, Let's listen.
I don't know why it's been okay for so many years, and it's not now, but...
So heard what he said? Her independence. He don't know why it's been okay for so many years, but now it's not. Well, that's his problem, not hers.
You and I have been acting like we weren't a married couple for most of our marriage, Janelle. I don't know why it's been okay for so many years, and it's not now, but...
That's his problem, right? He's the one that changed, not her. She's been doing the same thing. All of a sudden, he's not good with it. Yeah, he says she's like a single woman. She says she always felt like she needed to make her own decisions and be independent. She thought that's what a plural marriage was about. In a confessional, Janelle says a long time ago, she was encouraged to be independent. She said it's what you did. When you're in a plural marriage, you don't run to your husband with everything because he can't be there to fix everything. She said before she would even ask anything of Kody, but she said before when she would ask things of Kody, her needs would be ignored. Kody says he feels like Janelle is misunderstanding their entire marriage. But I don't think so. Because here's the thing. What he's claiming he wanted out of Janelle back then is what I feel like he got out of Christine. Christine would go to him. Hey, can you come tuck the kids in, while I'm at work tonight? Hey, can we go out? Hey, can we have more of a relationship? Hey, can you come hang out? Hey, can you be here to fix this? Oh my God, you're not being respectful of my other wives and their time with me. So he does demand that they be independent. But now all of a sudden it's an issue. And I feel like that's what Christine was, and he hated that in her. He hated that Christine wanted him and needed him more than, say, Janelle. Kody tells us that he doesn't see Janelle as independent, but that she's aloof. She just does her own thing and he does his. Janelle says in a plural marriage, you cannot depend on the hubby to meet all your needs. because obviously he's, meeting all kind of other people's needs. So how can he meet your needs? Let's see. Let's get back to dinner.
Doesn't change.
Yeah, I just.
Okay. Back at dinner, Janelle tells Kody that she enjoys the independence. She tells Kody somewhere along the way she feels like they've lost something. He says, yeah. In a confessional, he says that this is no longer about the COVID crosshairs, that it's really about him and Janelle, about her loyalty, her lack of respect during COVID, her lack of respect for his rules. Back at the table, he tells her that he wants them to get back to a place where they have some sort of a loyalty. That they can work out things as a married couple. Janelle responds by saying, "Wow, it's wild. It's wild that you didn't think that I'm loyal to you. Like I always thought that I was." In a confessional, Janelle says that all she is hearing, she's like, all I'm hearing is Robyn is great. Robyn is perfect. Robyn treats me this way. I'm supposed to be treated this way. We all need to be this way. We all need to be a small team. We all need to conform. Then we're all good. And Janelle says, that's not what I signed up for. Like, I didn't sign up, to treat you the way one of the other wives treat you. I didn't sign up to follow your rules, every single rule. It's not what I signed up for. Kody in a confessional says that he doesn't think it's unreasonable for him to expect that his wife be loyal to him and be an accountable person. Back at dinner, he tells Janelle that maybe they're not a good fit. He's like, I don't know, maybe we're not a good fit. Maybe this isn't going to work. Janelle tells Kody that she feels like the rules have changed for her a little bit. She tells Kody that he's always acted like she was a good wife and that they were great. She would make her own decisions and they would come together, and she always felt like he was okay with that. Like that he was fine with the way she handled herself, In a confessional, Janelle says she never thought she would ever be in a place where she could be questioning or she would be questioning her relationship. But the last few years, she's really been wondering if they are compatible anymore. She says maybe this just doesn't work for us. I don't know. Or maybe this just doesn't work anymore for us. Kody in a confessional says that he is reevaluating his life. And he is wondering if him and Janelle are going to be any better than him and Christine. At dinner, Kody tells Janelle that emotionally the ship is sinking. In a confessional, Janelle says, I don't know if you can just change the way a relationship has been running for 30 years all of a sudden. Like maybe that's a sign that this just doesn't work anymore. Janelle says that she is not someone that just throws in the towel on a marriage. And then Kody says in a confessional, or Kody actually asks, is this even working for us? Is this working for Janelle? Like, I don't know at this point. Like, I don't know if this is working for any of us. Back at the dinner, Kody tells Janelle that he doesn't feel like they know how to be real with each other. Janelle says they've had a functional marriage for a long time. He is her best friend. He is the person that she tells everything to. Like, if something happens, he is that person that she goes to and talks to. Like, the person that, if you hear some good gossip, you want to call that person. And he is that person for her. I wish I'd stop getting pictures of their big faces. Hold on. Okay, let's pause right there. Janelle says they've had a functional marriage for a long time. Here's her best friend, the person she tells everything to. Kody says, yeah, but redefining us. And then he stops and he goes, I don't, he cuts it off. We then see him in a confessional and he says, to say that I'm close with Janelle would be an overstatement, which is, here we are, you guys. Janelle tells him, thank you so much, Mama of Three. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Janelle tells him, she's like, you are my best friend. Like, you are the person that I tell everything to, And then he turns around and says, to say that I'm close with Janelle would be an overstatement. He's like, I don't know what happened between me and Christine. Or he says, I don't know. I don't want what happened to me and Christine to happen to me and Janelle. He tells Janelle at the table, At the table, he tells Janelle, you do have to see that there is something fundamentally wrong here in our relationship. Back in the confessional, Janelle explains that she feels like she has to do everything she can to make it work, but she doesn't know if it's possible for them to really come back from where they are at this point. Kody then, in his confessional, asks, why does Janelle think he is singing the breakup song? I guess they told him that. Like, hey, Janelle thinks maybe you're implying that y'all might head towards Splitsville. He's like, I don't know why she's saying I'm singing the breakup song. Well, I don't know, due to everything that you're saying to dinner at her. Back at the table, Janelle brings up the fact that Savannah is 17. They are about to be empty nesters, so maybe it's time that they kind of reset their relationship, readjust, change some things if need be. In a confessional, Janelle says that she has a lot of affection for Kody, but she doesn't know if it's love. She doesn't know if she's in love with Kody. Okay. You would think you would learn something from Christine. Absolutely. Kody then says in his confessional that it's not safe enough to tell Janelle that he's going through a heartbreak and he needs Janelle to help him heal. He's like, I don't know if it's safe enough to tell her that I need her. What? Why wouldn't it be? Like, she's your wife. Y'all been married for 30 years. It ain't like she's stepping out on you. Tell her, Janelle, I'm heartbroken. I need you to be here for me. I'm sure she would be like, done. I'll do it. Whatever you need me to do, But he's like, I don't know if it's safe enough. Okay. I think he's using a line from Christine. You guys remember when Christine told him that? You guys remember sitting out at Coyote Pass? Christine told him, I don't know if it's safe enough to really tell you how I feel. Cody just blasted their relationship with the whole world. They haven't acted married for years. It sounds like he wants Janelle to leave. I know, right? I know. But anyways, he says that he needs Janelle to help him heal, but he don't know if she's a strong enough woman. Back at the table, Kody says that he can't define his own family right now. So Janelle says, well, can we redefine us? Like, is that something that we can work on? Do you see that happening? She asks if she needs to be a certain way in order to make it work. Kody says maybe a married couple and a life partner. So she's like, well, what do you need from me? If we're going to redefine us, what do you need from me? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe start acting like a wife. Maybe start acting like a life partner. And Janelle tells Kody that that's what she thought she was already doing. She was like, I already thought I was doing that. And she tells him that she thought they had a functional marriage. And she asks, have we not had a functional marriage? Like, have I not been doing those things for you? And Kody says, buying an RV and moving into it, that's a single woman decision. Going to see your kids without your husband during the holidays, that's a single woman decision. But I'm like, okay, so if she was to call him and say, hey, Kody, I'm going to see the kids for Thanksgiving. Go with me. Let's go together. Can you go with me? Will you go with me, Kody? Will you go with me to see the kids for Thanksgiving? Can we go to Maddie and Caleb's house for Thanksgiving? You know what he's going to say? What? I have family. We're doing Thanksgiving at Robyn's house. I can't. No. They're grown. Why don't they come here? That's what I feel like he would say. Janelle, in a confessional, says that she is spitting mad. She's like, I am spitting mad right now. She says, I could stay home and hang out with Kody and Robyn and Robyn's kids. She said, but the thing about it is when she has decisions to make, Kody doesn't show up for her. She's like, when I had so many days to be out of my house, my rental house, Kody wasn't on the phone calling around for a rental property for me. He wasn't even worried about it. That's why I had to make those decisions. All Kody was saying basically was, well, find a place to rent, find a place to rent, find a place to rent. He wasn't helping me find a place to rent. So when I couldn't find a place to rent and it was getting down to the wire, I decided to buy an RV. I mean, she admits it was, a difficult decision and maybe the wrong decision because it came with a lot of things that she was not expecting. But he wasn't there to really help her go through that. Kody, in a confessional, says these decisions affected his life, yet he was not consulted with. He says he didn't want to live in an RV, but if he doesn't stay in the RV with her, then that would be considered him abandoning her. Back at dinner, Janelle tells Kody that she knows She really doesn't want to give up her independence, but she understands that she needs to consider Kody's feelings a little bit more. She asks Kody if he still wants the plural family. Kody's like, yeah, I don't know. I really question that all the time. And Janelle's like, honestly, me too. In the last year, I've really asked myself if this is something that I really want to be a part of. Like, do I really want to stay? But she tells him that she feels connected to him. So maybe they need to figure it out. Maybe they need to really figure out what they're going to do here. He asked Janelle then, why is it easier to have a relationship with Christine but not Robyn? Once again, going back to Robyn. The issues between them, once again, back at Robyn. How is it that you can be so close to Christine but not Robyn? Which I think anybody that watches the show would know that. Janelle explains to him, well, I've known Christine from the beginning. We live together in the same house. Like, we have these, like, the connection with the kids. Like, my kids look at her as, like, mom as well. Her kids look at me as mom. Like, we're very close, She says there's so much history there, the kids, but she don't really have that with Robyn because, by the time Robyn came in, Robyn never lived in the house with them, and Robyn kind of isolated herself. So she never got the chance to really build a relationship like that with Robyn. In a confessional, Kody says that things really aren't working, but he doesn't want to, or that things wasn't working with him and Christine. So now he's going back to Christine. Things wasn't working with him and Christine, but he didn't want to quit. And he wasn't a coward. So he obviously saw the episode where Christine called him a coward. And now he's like, this is like the second time he's brought up the coward comment. He's like, things weren't working, but I wasn't going to quit, and I'm not a coward. He says the fact that Janelle seems to feel bad for Christine hurts him. The fact that Janelle seems to support Christine but not him bothers him. He says, why is it that she can feel pity for Christine but not pity for me? Janelle says it's dangerous territory to look to her for validation concerning, anything to do with him and Christine. That shouldn't happen, In a confessional, Kody says that he feels like he is fighting for their relationship. And Janelle says she is there, but she is confused on what to do. They basically decide, they're going to move forward. They're just going to try to work it out and move forward. After that, we see Mr. Kodisha. 20 months after COVID, here we are. And Robyn and Brianna are sick. Is it Brianna or Brienne? Brianna. Kody took them to get tested, and Brianna tested positive. Kody tested negative. Robyn tested negative, but they all have the same symptoms, so they're pretty sure they all have it. According to them, it was brought home from school. All right, let's look at this. All right. Robyn was doing little videos on her phone to kind of update us on what was going on with her.
Yucky cough.
Robyn's wiped out. Brianna, both of them headaches, chills, fever, 101 degrees, restlessness, tightness in the body, aching, lots of aching.
Mom of three, this is the second time I think that they've called it in or the nanny got COVID. Back when COVID earlier. So the nanny got COVID last year. This is new COVID that was brought in from school allegedly.
I can't believe how awful I feel so far. Freaking worried about everything. Worried about the kids and me and just Kody and stuff.
God, I can't believe it, man. COVID-19 after 20 months of avoiding it's crazy.
It's pretty wild. It almost seems like the people that was trying so hard to avoid it ended up getting it. Did anyone else have problems recognizing Robyn without her eyebrows? Honestly, her eyebrows look much better like that. Like, she has dark eyebrows. There's a little bit of shape to them. I think if she left them like that when she put her makeup on, it looked better. I think that as a spouse, if you're wanting to work on your relationship, that you will back and support your spouse when needed. You can let them know you don't agree on things, but still support it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree there. Um, Anyways, Robyn is using her phone to update us. She is not well. Crafty Florida lady? Crafty lady, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. We welcome you into the family. So she's scared, obviously. She's really sick. Dayton ends up getting it as well. Ari and Solomon, they end up with a fever. So at this point, everybody in the house except Aurora is showing signs and symptoms of having COVID. So Aurora decides she's not going to get it. She quarantines herself from the family. She goes down to her room and shuts the door. And she don't want to see anybody, you know. Then, so everybody's getting COVID. Then we see Gabriel. This is super sad, you guys. Let's listen.
Specifically October 11th.
Okay, so Gabriel says back in January he got COVID. And then in October, his dad called him to ask him about COVID. And he says specifically October 11th because it was my birthday. So let's listen to what he says about the last time he talked to his dad. So he got COVID in January. No big deal. He just lost his sense of smell. He wasn't terribly sick. His dad calls him October 11th to ask him questions about COVID. Let's listen.
11th, my birthday. And Dad calls me. And we have a small discussion about how bad my COVID was. I shouldn't have done this, but I did anyway. I didn't remind him that it was my birthday because I wanted to see if he remembered.
Can't blame the kid. I've done that before. You know, talk to somebody and I'm like, let's see if they're gonna remember it's my birthday. You know, I'm not gonna go too hard on Kody because he does have 18 kids. I mean, when you have a lot of kids, sometimes you'll think the wrong birthday or like the dates can get kind of confusing. He's got 18 kids. So that can be tough, I have to imagine. 18 kids, you know. But Gabe didn't tell him, so let's listen.
And he didn't.
He said he purposely didn't tell him to see if he would remember, and he didn't.
And so to him, it was just a phone call. You know, just asking me about COVID.
This really hurts him. This really hurts him. This is really sad. Wow. That's really sad. He's really upset about this, you know. That's the thing is he has 3 wives. Yeah, maybe he needs a calendar, write it down. You know, they're already feeling like the boys already feel like he shows more attention to Robyn and her kids. And is he forgetting their birthdays? Probably not. So they already feel this sense of estrangement. They already feel like they're not good enough. And then his dad calls him. How bad was COVID? We're all over here with COVID. Was it bad for you? And then doesn't remember that it's his birthday.
It was a lot worse than just a phone call for me. But yeah, a couple hours after that.
He only calls when he needs something, in my opinion. That's definitely what it sounds like. And then he's mad at his kids if that's the way that he feels with them. If he feels that the kids only call when they need something, that's what he'll say. They only call me when I need something. But it seems like that's what you do to them as well.
He tried to call me back. Tell me happy birthday and make up for it. And that's the last time I ever talked to my dad.
right? You have to remember he hadn't talked to Gabe in over a year. So, of course, he thought the call was to wish him a happy birthday. Can you imagine? He hasn't talked to his dad. He gets a call on his birthday and he thinks, wow, my dad's calling to tell me happy birthday. Hello? Let's talk about COVID. Never says happy birthday. Ends up remembering or being told and then calls back. That's the last time that Gabe spoke to him. That was October 11th. Super sad. Terribly sad. Back to the house of Vid. Well, actually, over to Mary's house. She says that she reached out to Robyn and over the phone, thinking that maybe it was the flu because she knew that Robyn was sick. So she calls Robyn, and Robyn sounds terrible. She was like, it was like a struggle for Robyn to even speak. So she's asking Robyn, like, what happened? So, like, do you have the flu? Like, what's wrong with you? And Robyn's like, no, we have COVID. And Mary's like, that is just so wild that they would be the ones to get COVID, because they had all these protocols. And so this was taped about a year ago. Yeah. This is going to be October of 2021. Because Christine announced her departure from the family November 2021, and this was right, after that happened. Kody said she had been gone for about a month. You have to talk about how Mary laughs. I have to listen to it. But Mary says she called Robyn, because she knew that Robyn was sick, and she thought that it was the flu, so she calls, and she's like, Robyn can't even talk, really. It's like a strain for her to talk. So I'm like, you got the flu? And she's like, nope, we got COVID. She's like, I don't even know how they got COVID because, they're so careful. Mary's like, I'm careful, not as careful as they are. I haven't got COVID, but they get COVID. Did I notice? Let me see.
Like you do?
Oh, here we go. Mary laughs at the fact that Robyn has COVID. Let's listen.
Flu? She's like, no, I have COVID. Like you do? But then she told me that Dave had it, and she said that Kody was having symptoms, and I asked how the little kids were.
It does seem like it affects her to find out that the little kids were sick. Look, she gets a little choked up when she's like, I asked how the little kids were, and she told me that the little kids had symptoms of it. But she does kind of giggle. She's like, what? You got COVID? No way, Jose. But she seems a little choked up right now.
And, she said that they were kind of having some symptoms, that they were okay. Like, you could tell she was having a hard time just speaking. Like, she was exhausted.
So Mary's like, I really couldn't do nothing for her. Like, I kind of wanted to go over there and maybe help out, but I couldn't. So back over on the property, it's been 10 days. Let's see.
Because she quarantined from the family.
Okay, this is a big one too that I think. It's been 10 days since Aurora's been quarantining. And at one point she comes up from her room and she's wearing a mask and she's standing 10 feet away from them and she busts out crying. And then Kody says they burst out crying too because they missed her so bad. But I'm like, 10 days that she's been down there quarantining and they're bawling crying because they missed her so much. What about the weeks that Isabel was gone to have her surgery? And when you came back to see her, no crying. You didn't cry when Isabel was gone. You didn't cry when, they took Isabel to go to Maddie and Caleb's house to move. And then they were gone for like 2 weeks. And then when they got back, you didn't even come see Truly for a few days. No crying there. He's went way longer without seeing other kids and wasn't even affected by it. So I hope he can understand this is why his biological kids are bothered. He goes without seeing them. He's not emotional over it, but let him go without seeing Robyn and her kids, and he's emotional over it.
As soon as she saw that we were sick, she went down into her room, shut the door, and stayed there. I would go straight through there. Quarantining from them and not being able to see them was very isolating and lonely.
Somewhere along the line, there's this one night when Aurora comes upstairs and she's like, I'm looking at her, she's in a mask, 10 feet away from us. I miss you guys. And we're just sobbing. Like, yeah, Aurora, I miss you too. It's been like 10 days. I didn't feel like working for this school. I didn't feel like she.
It's like, yeah, Aurora, I miss you too. It's been 10 days. And I'm like, what about all the time that you spent away from your other children? During COVID, going months without speaking to your boys or seeing your boys, but you're crying over Robyn's kids. This is why. This is why.
Christine and Mary have not had COVID, at least none that they were aware of. I do think it's interesting that Robyn and he isolated themselves for so long, and it was actually one of their kids who brought it home to them from school.
It is pretty ironic. It's pretty ironic. Christine says the same thing. She's like, it's wild that they were the ones to get it because they were so careful. She was like, I wasn't careful. She was like, I was careful, but not as careful as they were. And, I didn't get it. She was like, I think it's one of those things, though, that if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. I almost think it's one of those things that the harder you try, then you end up getting it. Back at the mansion, the $1 million home, Robyn is worse. Let's see.
The last time I saw them.
Robyn's worse. Let's see.
At this point, after having COVID for a week, I can't breathe very well.
Brianna's feeling quite a bit better, and Dayton's kind of coming out of it too. Robyn's not improving. She's not improving. Finally, our doctor just says, take her to the hospital. You'll go to the hospital and die.
So Kody's like, at this point she's getting worse. The doctor wants me to bring her to the hospital, but as far as we're concerned, people go to the hospital to die. So we're like scared of that. At this point, people still die, from COVID, but it's not as common, I don't think. But she was really scared. All the kids were scared.
I was crying and praying because I was like scared that she might die.
So Aurora was like, I was praying, I was scared, like I was really scared that she might die. So Kody brings her to the emergency room. They do not let him in with her. He had to sit in the truck. He contemplates, like maybe I should have had myself admitted. I got COVID too, but he just stays in the truck. It takes them a while. I don't think they ever actually put her in a room because they were like overpacked. So she stayed like out on like the ER floor, like one of those beds for several hours. She had an EKG done, a chest X-ray. But let's hear her talk about leaving. Make a decision to go to the hospital.
I didn't want
Yeah, she was in the hospital for a giant 6 hours. She was.
to say goodbye to my kids.
Something like that.
I didn't want to say goodbye because I didn't want to the last time I saw them.
She was like, I didn't want to say goodbye to my kids because I didn't want it to be the last time that I saw them. So I really think that she really thought she had it bad. But yeah, drama sales, I guess, making it out like she was knocking on heaven's door. Definitely at death's door was what I got from it as well. Through the promos that we saw and stuff like that.
They wouldn't let me go in with her. No, blue as can be.
He said he's blue as can be because they wouldn't let him go in with Robyn.
So it's only one person at a time. I kind of wish I'd admit myself. Because I do have it. No doubt about that. And maybe I get chest x-ray. Because my nights of sleep and my breathing sort of suck. But I was feeling worse. I'd probably check myself in. This is like a busy hospital. Seems like a waste for me to be going in there and playing sick.
Ain't it wild? He's like, I should have went in there too because I'm sick. But there seemed like a busy hospital, so I don't need to be going in there playing sick. What do you mean? What do you mean playing sick? You just said you were sick.
There's people that might be dying. Robyn's.
Or maybe it just means people that are more sick. I don't know.
The past now. So, I'm going to check in with her. See what's going on.
I've been in the hospital for, I think, 6-7 hours waiting for a room.
So she's been there for like 6 or 7 hours waiting on a room. They do the chest X-ray, the EKG. Obviously, it comes back that she's got COVID. But they don't think she's like going to die or anything. So they do send her home. When they send her home, obviously, it's the possibility that it could get worse. She could get better. So even after they send her home, that was something that the family was still concerned with.
My COVID is in them, but being that she could get worse, she could get better, she didn't know. So there's still that to think about, which is scary. Taking a breath to talk is just a struggle. I just can't get the oxygen in. It hurts to take deep breaths. And my x-rays look good. Yes, you have COVID. Yes, your lungs sound yucky, but you're okay.
So she got to go home. After she gets home, a few days later, she starts getting better. But Kody gets worse. Kody does get worse.
Not only like in a brain fog, I feel stupid.
So him getting worse, he says not only does he feel like he's in a brain fog, but he feels like he's kind of gotten stupid. He also goes into like this depression mode, kind of. I'm gonna back it up so we can kind of hear what he's saying.
He's in a really bad way, mentally, emotionally.
I have an element of anxiety that is blowing my mind. Not only like in a brain fog, I feel stupid.
My dad is a super like energetic, happy guy, but when he got COVID, he was really different because, sorry, he sounded like he was getting really depressed. I think that COVID is actually stripping away Cody's perpetual sunshine that he has in his life, where he sees everything through these optimistic glasses.
She says she thinks that COVID was ripping away his perpetual sunshine that he has, with his life, where he's always wearing these, glasses where he sees everything through a positive light. I'm like, that's the way that he lives in y'all's house, though. In their house, sunshine, rose-colored rose-colored glasses. I don't know, glasses where everything is just positivity, positivity. But in other people's houses, that's not Kody, I don't think. But even Janelle did say that he was seeming like depressed. He was seeming in a bad way.
Kody has never suffered from any kind of low feelings. He's always been a very optimistic, very move forward, can do kind of person. It worried me a little bit because he was not that. He was anxious, he was emotional. I was really worried about him.
Now he's gonna explain to us basically how, like, I guess how he feels, how passing Christine's house after he got better from COVID, how passing Christine's house really affected him. So let's listen.
It's been 3.5 weeks since I got COVID, and I thank God that I am feeling so much better. I just fought it. I just beat it.
He says, I fought it and I beat it.
It kicked my ass, but I lived, and I'm not running from it anymore. I don't want to socially distance anymore. It's pissing me off. I'm just glad I'm out of this COVID thing. Just for being out of the anxiety, I remember driving past Christine's house. After I started feeling a little bit better, she moved to Utah.
And the thing about it is he has to pass Christine's house to go home, to go to Robyn's. So it also is really wild that, like, when he was not going to see Truly a lot or at all, or like Isabel and Truly, he was not going by their house for like weeks on end. But he had to pass by their house to go home anytime he would leave. Pretty wild.
I stopped the truck, I got on the truck, and I changed out of the hoodie that I was in into a jacket because the hoodie was choking me from driving past Christine's house and seeing somebody else living there, and stuff really bothered me. I really spent a lot of time evaluating my family and my situation and how I messed this up.
He's really spent a lot of time reevaluating his family and how he's messed this up. So here it seems like he understands he is the problem here, but I really don't think that he does.
Well, I thought all this, I was having this conversation with Janelle because I was basically begging her to have a deeper relationship with me. Because
that's not what I got out of it, you guys. He says I was basically begging Janelle at this dinner to have a deeper relationship with me, but that's not what I heard. I heard treat me like I'm your king, loyalty, act like Robyn acts. It wasn't a deeper relationship in the terms of anything that would be beneficial to her, only to him.
I feel so rejected by her. And that got me thoughtful about how I'm not dealing well, or I'm not dealing with Christine leaving, with her taking Truly. I'm experiencing grief because we will never go there again. When I had COVID, looking at family pictures and stuff like that, and start sobbing.
Look at a family picture, sobbing. So you would think that he would do it better, right? If Janelle really did leave, and we hear him talking like this, like I don't want to mess up again. I realize where I messed up. I'm looking at family pictures, sobbing. But if Janelle really left, this is him just, I don't know, like playing us. What is it?
Because I was like, I'm gonna lose this.
Yeah, you are.
Was it worth it? I got a division with my family.
Exactly. You got a division with your family. Was it worth it?
I got a divorce that happened, which no doubt in my mind, COVID was a catalyst for that.
Yeah, COVID, but you as well.
He was totally right. This was something we just didn't. Yeah, there's been so many things we missed out on. I now know why.
Robyn's eyebrows look like little miniature black combs. You know, like the little. I mean, they're not miniature. They're like this big, like black combs. That's what her eyebrows look like.
We're doing Halloween, and I'm getting my candy. This is pretty wiped out from COVID, but you know, we're gonna have something fun for Halloween. So I'm dressed up as King Tut. I'm always dressed up as Cleopatra. So what we decided to do was that already.
But he didn't include his other kids in this. So they're gonna do something for Halloween. They're over COVID, and he's not scared of COVID anymore. They're gonna do something fun for Halloween. But he didn't invite, try to get Truly that weekend. He didn't, ask Janelle to come over, Miri to come over. They had Halloween right there at their house.
Dale and Solomon go trick or treating to the 4 doors of the house.
To the 4 doors of the house. Solomon and Ari are going to go trick or treating at their house to the 4 doors of the house.
Ring the doorbell. We've got trick or treaters. Trick or treat. All right. One of the big things that I'm aware of is that we will never be in these big family places.
So he says one of the things that I'm aware of is we'll never be in those big family places again.
A whole bunch of us again. Maybe something will happen. Why find soul searchers? Very good. It just seems like the family's going different directions. You heard this one, right?
That's cute. She's like a lion, I guess.
I am thanking God every day that I know this COVID thing. I got a party for Brian Dorley. He would not do this kind of stuff. Robyn wants to make sure the kids are having an awesome time. So she's done good here.
I saw that. Who came out of the RV? Who did that?
To the 4 doors of the house. Ring the doorbell. We've got trick or treaters. Trick or treat.
I'm gonna slow it down. Someone did come out of their RV.
All right. One of the big things I'm aware of is that we will never be in these big family places where we got a whole bunch of us again.
Hold on. Was it that one? Let's see. There's Kody's shirt. Why is his shirt outside?
Oh, maybe something will happen.
Why is Kody's shirt outside? Okay. That's cool.
Seems like the family's gone.
He was playing shirts outside to air out the COVID. Maybe so. Maybe so.
That's actually nice.
They're only giving them one piece of candy a piece. One piece? That's kind of cheap if you ask me.
Thanking God every day that I know this COVID thing. I got a party for Brian Dorley. Would not do this kind of stuff. Robyn wants to make sure the kids are having an awesome time. So she does good here.
Oh, it's her son. He lives there. That's why they didn't want to offer it to Janelle. Makes sense.
That thing. I'm so grateful that I know this. Next time on Sister Wives.
This last year and a half was shattered. That's not our family.
The sense I got is that we've failed.
We don't need to fail more. I don't know what there is really to discuss. I don't want a Christine bashing fest, which is sometimes what these turn into.
So they have a family meeting. That's all of this episode, but next episode they have a family meeting. Robyn, Miri, Janelle, and Kody. And Janelle says here, she says, I don't want this to turn into a Christine bashing fest, which is what they sometimes turn into. That's nice to know that sometimes they turn into a, why? Who would do that? Why?
I don't feel like my children are welcome. When have they not felt welcome?
I think that Janelle has pit me against the boys.
You guys are going in on this. I'm not going to shoulder this.
What's so crazy is every time he says that, I feel like their mom has pit them against me. Their moms are the ones saying, like, no, have a better relationship with your dad. Like, oh, it's okay, your dad, he's your dad, he's your dad. These are not the women that are pitting their kids against him. They're the women that's trying to convince their kids to have a relationship with this man.
So now he's looking for reinforcement from Robyn and Mary.
Don't do it, Robyn and Mary. I hope next week y'all don't do it. When he's like, help me out, y'all better keep your mouth shut unless you want the whole world coming for y'all. Leave it alone. Let him defend himself. Do not have a go at Janelle about Christine. Leave it alone. And I did think that was crappy that he's like basically asking Mary and Robyn to like defend him to Janelle. Like she said, he wants reinforcement.
You want everyone to put their on me.
This is the same
Nasty place and all when they're bad. We won't build until we build this subdivision. Janelle needs somebody who'll break their back to get this project done, and that's not me right now. Men don't love people.
That was actually last week. Whoever did this YouTube video threw that in there from last week.
Back. You don't respect them.
Why did you and Dad break up? We just wanted to look.
Okay, so basically Janelle storms out. And Kody says, on next week, they're having this discussion, and it gets kind of tense. And Janelle gets up to walk out, and he's like, you do not want to walk out on this one. And she walks out anyways. My husband hangs his shirt out sometimes. He's an insurance salesman, and if he goes to someone's house and they smoke, he'll hang his shirt outside. So he won't have to dry clean it. Oh, that makes sense. When he told everyone else not to choose sides. Exactly. He wants Janelle to choose his side over Christine. He wants everybody to choose his side. I thought Dayton was back with his dad, his biological dad. I've never heard that. I don't know. I thought they didn't have a relationship with their dad. So that's definitely interesting to hear that. But that was this week, you guys. I can't wait for next week. One thing that Janelle tells us, she's not going to be Robyn. Why wasn't this said 30 years ago? Why didn't he tell her 25 years ago? I don't like you being this way. The thing about it is because he wanted them to be that way. He wanted them to be independent. He didn't want them needing him all the time. That way he could go out and do whatever the heck he wanted. If he wanted to court another woman, he could court another woman because he didn't have his other 3 wives at home wanting him to be there with him. He wanted them to be independent. And the one woman that wasn't independent, that really kind of wanted him, well, Christine was still independent, but she really wanted that affection relationship, was Christine. And look at how he treated her. Like, you didn't respect that I had other wives. Yeah, and then poor Gabe. Oh, my goodness, poor Gabe. I want the show to pivot about their life after their high demand religion. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, if it goes on to just follow Janelle and Christine in their life after polygamy, that would be cool. They totally should take kids to Janelle's RV. They could have done marshmallows. Exactly. They could have had a night out in their Halloween costumes, roasting marshmallows, eating hot dogs. It could have been a whole thing. They could have had a fun night. But he's mad at her. So he's not going to include her. Thank you for the review. I so enjoy listening to what you have to say. Thank you so much, The Ridge. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do these every Monday. We do the recap of the episode and discuss. So if you're new here, a few of you guys I haven't seen here before, so make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back here next Monday doing the same thing. Also, we're going to cover a little Aaron Carter stuff today. Aaron Carter. We have Aaron Carter stuff to cover today. Athena Strand stuff that I'm probably going to go over today. What else do we have? There's a few things we're going to talk about today, so this isn't the only one. I wish they would do a life after polygamy. Yes, absolutely. Is this where she tells Kody F you as she storms out? I know she walks out, but I don't know if she says F you. Does she say? I know she's done that. She did that last season. Hey, Carrie. I know last season she walked out. She was like, you know what? F you, Kody. I don't know if she's going to do it again, but she does walk out. And he's like, don't walk out. This ain't the one. She's like, beep. Peace out. Absolutely all apologies. Absolutely. There was something else that I wanted to talk about today. Definitely covering Aaron Carter. What else was it? I don't remember. But we're going to go ahead and close this one out, you guys. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. We'll be back here next Monday to do this review. Check back with me back here in about 30 minutes. We're going to be doing the Aaron Carter update. A lot going on. His mama coming out, calling Melanie a killer. Melanie finally speaking out about what she had been dealing with Aaron and how she'd been trying to keep him sober, that he started falling off the wagon after she got pregnant. So you guys join me back here so we can go over that. But Aaron Carter's mom was wilding out on Facebook, and Melanie's mom even had to jump in and leave a comment. I've not talked about Aspen Jeter. Thank you so much. Let me write that down again. That was one of the ones that I needed to cover. Aspen Jeter. I need to look up everything about that. Thank you so much. She's still missing after her mom was cut off. But you guys have your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. Bye, everyone.